I didn't realize that Luka was actually sitting last night against Chicago. The Mavs, they lost that one, and now they're playing their cross-state rival, the Houston Rockets. The Rockets are favored by 4, and though the team isn't fresh, Luka is. And despite all that, I'm going to go the other way. I like the Rockets here. I think James Harden is actually he might be a Houston Rocket, but he's a Houston resident with rocks for brains in Joel Walkowski's book, because this roster, it's pretty competitive. You have roster as your 1A chess piece, and even when he's out of shape, you have John Wall. Maybe he's not Russell Westbrook. Maybe he's not Chris Paul, but isn't John Wall like kind of the necessary melding of the two? He gives you a little bit of cerebral play. He's a little bit smarter. You're hearing like feedback from opposing players that are like, yeah, John Wall is actually giving me really good insights on my own game. And then you're going to round this out with a pretty daunting rotation of bigs. Like last year, the Rockets had no big men whatsoever. Now they have the crucifix, Christian Wood. And by the way, I started that nickname. I did stand-up jokes about that nickname. That nickname is a Joel Walkowski original. And Christian Wood, he's the perfect pick and roll partner for Harden. He's able to create his shot. He's able to hit threes. They've got Boogie Cousins hopefully working his way back from a couple of years of nightmarish injuries. And they still have PJ Tucker to be the Swiss Army knife to do all things. They still have Eric Gordon to create his own shot in the second unit, bomb you with threes, and have a head that is just strangely shaped like a baseball diamond. Eric Gordon, that's a strange head, and it might seem like a strange rotation, but it actually works. And that's the terrible thing with Harden. This dude is complaining about a trade. He's trying to force his way out, but there's so much in flux this season. I think the rest is really hard on the Lakers for this year. I've been on the record about that. Anthony Davis sprains his ankle like every other game. LeBron didn't have the time to really get his body right. And this Rockets team, they've always had a puncher's chance. Bad luck took 2 titles away from them. And tell me how this Rockets team is worse than any of the other Rockets teams. You can't. This team does everything offensively. Harden is not fairly assessing the situation. And moreover, to tonight, they're not giving new coach Steven Silas a chance at all. The dude comes from Dallas. The dude learns under Rick Carlisle. And in this matchup with a back-to-back against his old team, where he worked for the past 2 seasons, where they're tied from last night, I'm going to go with the team with the coaching upper hand, with the rest upper hand, and at this point in the season, probably a better roster. And I'm going to be taking the Rockets here, and I'm going to advise you to take that bet as well. Maybe buy it to 3.5, but I'm also going to advise James Harden to get his shit together. This team's pretty good. You incorporating yourself into Philadelphia during the season is not a better shot at a title. You going to Boston and playing tug of war with Jason Tatum for the offense is not a better route to the title. Maybe Miami, we're not going to go to that trade rumor. However, the West is in flux. All the contenders have major changes, and it just seems like the Rockets don't blow it up. Go back to your identity. So I like them tonight. I like them to get their act together over the course of the season. And our last